Nice play, huh? I'm back. And I'm back for you. I'm not going to lie. I'm back for me, too.
Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Hold 3, the moss-covered, 3-handled family Gradunzel. I am Sir Michael Cole.
You there, sitting at home. Acknowledge me.
Number 4, armbar.
This ain't no disco. Ain't no country club either. This is the 3 Count Thursday podcast. So let's go, baby.
Welcome, everyone, to a shorter staffed, lighter put together 3CT. It is, I believe, December 29th, 2023, the last podcast of the millennium for us, live here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and so much more. Thank you guys for joining. If you are here with us live, always be sure to give us a like and a share. Tell a friend. Get in here with us. But like I said, it is me, Ryan, intern Mark. No Big Jim. No Matt. It's kind of the inmates left to run said asylum, which is kind of scary. But got a lot of things to talk about. Dragon Lee going to WWE, our favorite things of 2022. What happened this day in history. But I think first we got to go around the horn. And I want to make sure I've got the soundboard right before I hit any of the things. I always forget how this is labeled on the soundboard. I hate this. I hate everything about it.
Jim doesn't let us talk until I hear how you doing, but I'm going to talk now because Jim's not here.
Yeah, go. How you doing, Ryan? How you doing?
Assume you're looking for the "how you doing" sound effect.
I sure am. It's labeled weird. You
assumed it would be labeled "how you doing."
It's not. It's not labeled "how you doing." It's labeled the guy who says it and
Cass.
how you doing.
It's
Who says it?
Big Cass.
It's not Big Cass. Big Cass didn't say how you doing.
Oh, that's Enzo?
It's Enzo. How you doing? Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
But it isn't Enzo that says it in this either. It's somebody else.
Really?
I'm going to look through all this stuff.
Are you sure it's not Enzo?
I'm positive it's Enzo and not Big Cass.
I know it's not Enzo, you said. Whatever. I'm doing fine, Big Jim.
Thank you.
We're going to be talking about favorite wrestlers, top of the weeks, something like that. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I'm going to mail this episode in. So we're going to really heavily rely on our customers to interact. Customers? That's not even the right fucking word.
No, it's not.
Wait, we're off to a good start.
Oh, here it is. Hey, Ryan.
How you doing?
Already did it.
Well, I figured it out. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold.
It's labeled SCSA. How you doing?
Hit it again.
It's broken. I don't like it. Hit it again.
How you doing?
Is that really Stone Cold? I never knew that.
Apparently Stone Cold.
That's Stone Cold.
Big Jim wouldn't lie, I don't think.
Well,
you know, who knows? Intern Mark.
How you doing?
Hi, boys.
hi, Mark.
Maybe it's... Hi, boys. Hi, Big Jim. Maybe it's much too early in the game, but I thought I'd just ask you the same. What are you doing New Year's? New Year's Eve. Wonder whose arms will hold you good and tight when it's exactly 12 o'clock that night. Welcome in the new year. New Year's Eve.
Is that a poem by Heidenreich?
It could have been. That's a song by Ella Fitzgerald sang it.
Oh, look at her.
Ella
Good old Ella.
Ella Fitzgerald getting some love.
That's who originally sang Santa Baby.
Is it? Is it really?
No.
I didn't know.
Santa Baby.
We got Devin in the house. Devin, what's up? Lou joining us on YouTube.
Lou.
And apparently, there's a WWE Hershey event today.
There's a house show tonight.
That is correct.
That's where Big Jim is. He took the lady friend to go see the Rassles. The Rassles Graps.
Is that true?
She's a big Gunther fan.
You're also lying.
And I think Matt took his whole family.
Yes, they got ringside seats.
Ooh.
That's actually best announcing one of the matches. He won the competition.
He said he's hoping Carlito was there. He brought a broom and a dustpan.
That reminds me. I was on Twitter and I was looking around, and there was a video on WCW Deep Cuts, I think.
Oh, yes.
Of the kid who won the guest announcing. And he was in this like tuxedo jacket. But then they zoomed out and he was in like basketball shorts in the ring at a WCW pay-per-view.
That sounds right.
That checks out.
No wonder that place fell to shambles.
He was in his Zoom costume.
For very much so.
As long as you're good above the waist.
Yeah. Nobody needs to know what kind of pants situation you've got going on.
I'm not wearing pants tonight.
Well, I am wearing pants because I had to actually be a contributing member of society before I got on the podcast. I had to take the lady friend over to her mom's because they're picking up her brother for a late New Year's, Christmas.
Well, New Year's, you're early, pal.
Yeah, Christmas, holidays. Look, man, I'm on the struggle bus.
I understand.
Gotta give me a chance. But
Tim, let's struggle together.
Let's struggle together, and we can struggle on this day, December 29th in history. I didn't look up any birthdays because I don't care. If anybody knows any birthdays, let us know.
I'll look some up real
Let's
quick.
find out.
Yeah, you guys look that up while I give you a very slow news day on this day in wrestling history. 4 major events took place on this day in history. The 3rd annual NWA AWA Star Wars event in 1985, headlined by Stan Hansen versus Rick Martel for the AWA Championship. And now for events maybe you've probably seen somewhere down the line. Starrcade 1991 in my backyard, Norfolk, the Norfolk Scope, headlined by or featuring Battle Bowl and headlined by Sting, winning the Battle Bowl Battle Royal to close out the night. 5 years later in Nashville, Tennessee, WCW had Starrcade again, and this was headlined by Rodney the Piper and Hulk Hogan for the WCW Championship. And in between there, from Queens, New York, ECW held Holiday Hell, headlined by Sabu versus Cactus Jack. All the events,
Sabu.
at least the major events that occurred on this day in pro wrestling history. Any ideas on birthdays, guys?
We have one. It's Jim's favorite ring announcer. Happy birthday, Justin Roberts.
On this day
Today.
Although I was looking, December the 27th might be, and I'd have to look this up, but it might be the most popular day for wrestling birthdays and very successful to boot. I'm going to start with the slower one. Doesn't rank high on a ton of people. So Bart Gunn was born on the 27th.
Oh.
Bart Gunn. Demolition Axe, the 27th.
Okay.
Goldberg on the 27th. China.
Who?
Cesaro, Claudio, and Zelina Vega.
Oh,
That's a hell of a list all on one day.
That's a lot.
China.
There it is.
Yeah, I forgot that there's a China button. I had to hit. But that's a long list of December.
That's a long list,
babies.
The 27th. Are they real or not? I don't know. I found it on the website, so I haven't looked.
9 months prior to that would have been March 27th.
March the
Maybe it was
27th.
Easter. Maybe it was Palm Sunday.
I'll tell you what they were doing. They were celebrating Charlie Haas and SoCal Val's birthday that day.
Ugh, no, thank you. No, thank you. Not on that day, not on any other day. And
China.
Absolutely not. On this day would we celebrate those. But one thing
everybody is celebrating the Tennessee Titans tonight.
Oh, good.
What are the Titans doing tonight?
The Titans are battling the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
How are they?
Tennessee. Let's go Tennessee.
Mark, what do you know about the Tennessee Titans? What color are their uniforms?
They
or
now
their
I know.
Logo.
Now they were the Houston Oilers, weren't they? Weren't they the
Holy
Oilers?
shit, you've already impressed me.
Yeah, we're done. You don't have to say anything else.
And their uniforms are kind of whitish with some blue. There's some blue, and I think a little bit of red,
And some
maybe a little gray. And there's
Mark,
a
you're
big
doing a
T on it,
fantastic
like
job.
He's nailing it.
Mr. T.
Like that is exactly right. That's how they got their name.
From Mr. T, because he's from Tennessee. You know, they call Tennessee the volunteer state.
They do.
Go Vols.
Because everybody volunteers to get out of there.
One thing that Big Jim doesn't bring up while we do the segment on this day, we're actually in timeline step with the Monday Night Wars. So on this day as we go is also dating back to 1997, Raw and Nitro head to head. So from 1997 Nitro, it's the night after Starrcade 97 in Baltimore. Notable moments include Ultimo Dragon winning his second cruiserweight title and Sting and Hulk Hogan having a Starrcade rematch that does not get a finish shown because they run out of time. How great WCW.
That Sting stunk.
Yes, I know. On Raw, the same night in Uniondale, New York, memorable moments include Goldust dressing up as Baby New Year, George the Animal Steel returning to the WWF to team up with Taka Michinoku to take on Jerry the King Lawler and his supposed son, Brian Christopher. And
Jerry's kid.
It is the
I would have never, ever thought George the Animal Steel tag teamed with Taka Michinoku. Wow.
Yeah.
What year was that? 98?
97.
And what was the last, who debuted? What was the last one?
Chainsaw Charlie.
Oh, boy. I really thought that gimmick was crazy to me.
It was.
That was wild.
And that's what, 97?
Yeah, I watched it back in preparation for this, to be honest.
I am 14 years old. I am loving a guy getting sawn out of a box with nylons on his face. That was awesome.
Sparks flying off the chainsaw. It looks absolutely unreal.
Yes, sir.
But that is all the events that occurred on this day, December 29th, in pro wrestling history.
Look at that.
We have knocked it out of the park, boys.
We are doing really good without Jim or Matt. We're doing real good.
I think so.
I told you we'd be fine.
I'm really proud of what we've done so far. We've done on this day, and it's almost been flawless.
It has almost been flawless. Let's see if we can keep the flawless streak going with this.
Since John Moxley, Cesaro, way before Gargano, there was Savage and Roddy, and Saturdays on NBC. These five guys on Facebook are gonna take a hard look. Recount Thursday brings to you the wrestler on the week.
It is week 37 in the
Question of the week.
Not quite. I don't have a question this week.
Oh.
At least we didn't have
Now-
one because I was apparently in charge of all social media, not just the podcast.
That's my
Did,
apologies. I really dropped the ball here.
No, not
Did
just
you
your
play the Wrestler of the Week jingle? Because I had nothing but silence.
I totally played it.
I
Did you
heard
hear
it.
it? All right, I honestly did not hear it at all. I thought you guys were just.
If you guys are listening along, did y'all hear it?
Yeah, let us know if you heard
Let
it.
us know.
I'm trying a different way to
Where you at, Devin? Are you
play
there
the
still?
audio.
Where you at, Lou?
Lou,
Talking
Luna
to you.
Kitty,
Jeez.
Charlie.
While they're figuring out week 37.
Charlie's wife.
Oh my God. Week 37 in the Wrestler of the Week. And I am also your people's champion. So I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Nobody knows I've done this. But our people's champ for this week is Big Jim. Doesn't get the chance to get away from the podcast all that often. He does so much for this show, so much for all the other shows he does. Doesn't get a lot of credit, even though he kind of proclaims himself to be the host. He really does take charge, make sure everything is on top of things, and he is appreciated, and he will receive 2 points, much like a lot of other people who are less deserving than Big Jim in the standings. We got some yep, all good. We heard it. Everybody heard it. Yeah, new stuff.
Except Mark.
I didn't. It was just silent. That's weird.
I love how you did bob your head there a little bit, like you did hear it though. You sold it well.
I saw you guys were like, I thought, all right, I'm just going to play along because I don't think it's playing yet.
It was totally playing, but that's good because if you can't hear it, that means you can't jump in and say 3-count question of the week.
I was
I'd
waiting
like
for it, and he started drinking, and I was like, he's not going to do it.
Good.
I had to pick up where he left off.
So, which one of you boys would like to give your picks
Let's
first?
get it out of the way, Mark.
All right, give me a minute here.
You know what? I'm not going to be a jerk. I'm going to show you what you had.
Yeah, Tim's running the show, not mean old Jim. Jim the mean. You're not ready for it?
Oh, I had it written down here too, so you didn't have to put them up.
Well, they go up anyways, Mark. It's how
All
it's
right,
always.
so it's not my fault that print's so small.
Oh
All right, so boy, it was a rough week. Let's talk about it here. We're going to talk about it, everybody. A rough week for Wrestlers of the Week. So at number 5, I had the Big Samoan Joe coming out there defending his titles. Big Joe. Then I had Johnny. Johnny put on one heck of a performance in a steel cage. That was Johnny Gargano. Makes great pizza, too. Gargano's Pizza. Then Wesley. Wesley from Mr. Belvedere. That little punk kid always getting in Mr. Belvedere's business. Had one heck of a match with that North American title. And then we had Raquel Slowpoke Rodriguez. Boy, she came in there, and how many women did she beat? 5. They brought out that Shayna Baszler, and she put Baszler away too. And number 1, it was rough. I put down Austin Leroy for retaining his U.S. title because he's a good boy. That just goes to show you what a rough week it was.
I'm just curious as to like when Johnny Gargano or Austin Theory had matches this week.
Maybe
yeah,
it was
man, Raw was a clip show.
Yeah.
Was it really from a house show?
I think it was on a house show.
Was it
I read about it online.
Was it the New York house show that took place at the same time as Raw?
I believe that's because it was Rollins was supposed to be in it, but he couldn't be there because of the weather.
That might be, yeah. Bray Wyatt wrestled.
So they put Damian Priest in there too.
Damian Priest.
Luna
But
Kitty.
it was a rough one.
Luna Kitty.
Hello,
How you
Luna
doing?
Kitty. Thank you for
Hi,
joining
Luna
us.
Kitty. The perfect time to join.
Let's give Matt's picks for this week. I had 5. God damn it. Haystacks Calhoun.
He had a tough week. He did just as
Yeah.
much as Austin Theory.
He probably did. Number 4, Samoa Joe retaining the AEW TNT Championship and defeating Wardlow. Number 3, Raquel Rodriguez for her victory in the gauntlet match. Number 2, Wes Lee for retaining the North American Championship. And number 1, the Death Dolls of Jessica Havoc, Rosemary, and Taya Valkyrie for retaining the Impact Wrestling Knockout Championship, because it's not the Knockout Women's Division, because there's no Knockout Men's Division. The Knockout Women's Championship. Good.
Now, if there was a Knockouts Men's Division, who would you make the Knockout Men's Champion?
Jonathan Gresham.
Oh, John Gresham. Okay.
He's a knockout.
He's a knockout for sure.
His wife is.
God.
I would make Speedball Mike Bailey my Knockout Men's Champion.
Nice.
Oh, that's not what you were asking me.
What do you have for your wrestlers of the week?
Awkward to put that picture up there. Number 5, David Batista. I wish I picked K-Stacks.
There we go.
He was voted like the best wrestler actor from some guy. It's a slow week.
Some guy.
Wes Lee, he beat Tony Tony Bag of Dicks on NXT. Samoa Joe, he beat War Daddy. He's still your TNT champion.
War Daddy.
Differently, this is Dragon Lee and Dralistico. They are the new AAA tag team champions. They took those championship belts right off of FTR.
Oh.
And number 1, General Kiesel, because winning championships means something around here. He's your new CCW traditional champion. Congratulations, General.
I was on Christmas.
Salute to the General. Was that on Christmas Day?
That was on Christmas Day.
They actually did a show on Christmas.
They have. Yeah.
We had a Christmas show. Christmas draws.
LCW did, I think, a show on Christmas as well a couple of years ago.
I think it was the day after.
Was it the day after?
I'm pretty sure it was the 26th.
Okay, you would know.
It was Boxing Day.
I know it was tough enough to do LVAC did a show on Festivus.
They did do a show. They did a Christmas show because it was Friday Night Fights, and then Saturday night they did the other show. You're right, Mark. That had the Too Cool reunion.
That was a good one.
Nice.
I miss LCW.
It was a good time.
Big Jim's picks for the week. At 5, he had AR Fox and Top Flight winning the $30,000 Trios Battle Royal. I forget what the name of the actual thing is, but it was a lot to tease. But AR Fox and Top Flight winning 30 or 300 large. And then, of course, Top Flight had a couple other fantastic showings during the week. 4, Raquel Rodriguez. 3, Wesley. 2, the Death Dolls. And number 1, Samoan Joe. My top 5 doesn't look too much different. I had the Usos at 5 for retaining against the Top Dollar and Ashanti the Adonis on SmackDown. 4, I had Wesley. 3, I had AR Fox and Top Flight. Number 2, I had Samoa Joe. And for number 1, I had Dragon Lee and Dralistico winning the AAA tag team titles off the FTR boys. And for the week, Samoa Joe is your top point getter, earning 10 points for the ultimate standings. At 2, consistent showing across all voters, Wesley. And then tied for 3rd is the Death Dolls, Dragon Lee, Dralistico, and Raquel Rodriguez, all receiving points this week. So where does that stand for our year to end standings? Well, Taya Valkyrie has now leaped back into the top 10 in a 4-way tie for 6 with CM Punk, Wardlow, and Jimmy the Uso. But Claudio Castagnoli still holding on very tightly to that first place spot, but only 2 points away from Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. It is a very, very tight top 10, and even tighter down below as well. Multiple voter or wrestlers who are in contention for the Wrestler of the Year standings. And as always, you can go to 3countthursday.com and take a look at our week-to-week voting as we go.
Since John Moxley, Cesaro, way before Gargano, there was Savage and Roddy, and Saturdays on NBC. These five guys on Facebook are gonna take a hard look. Break Down Thursday brings to you the wrestler on the week.
Yes, Ryan.
Hi, everybody. Just want to, I know, so we do our Wrestler of the Week, and that culminates then ultimately to our Wrestler of the Year. But our friends over at the ECWA, they just did their Wrestler of the Year. Congratulations to Erica Lee.
Yes.
The 2022 Wrestler of the Year
Big
for
honk.
ECWA. Also involved in the Match of the Year with her and Darius Carter for the Super 8 tournament. So if you've not caught any of that, I think that's probably available to stream, right? The ECWA streams, I'm pretty sure.
I think so. I don't know where.
ECWAwrestling.com. You can probably find some more information out about them on their website. But if you've not caught a Super 8, it's an awesome tournament. You ought to go check it out. It's really good professional wrestling.
Absolutely. And I think actually one of my co-commentary partners, my first full-time commentary partner when I was doing Commentary at Excellence, Will Strauss, he won, he split the award for Mike Man of the Year for ECWA. So good on Will. Fantastic commentator over there at ECWA. I'd love to be able to chop it up with him one more time. Much different now than it was. Gosh, when did I do Commentary for Excellence? It feels so
moons
long
ago.
It does feel like moons
It's been a
ago.
long time.
Also, shout out to the most popular wrestler of the year, Mr. Ooh La La. What
Of
a career
course.
he has had.
Why wouldn't the most popular wrestler of ECWA be the guy who's been at ECWA since,
Forever.
on the 9th day God created ECWA, right? And
Mr. Ooh La La.
Ooh La La.
Between him and Devin Storm, they are like ECWA
Ooh
staples.
La La.
But from talking about things that have been in place forever to things that have just recently happened, at the end of the AAA tag team title match between Dragon Lee and Berlistico against the FTRs, Dragon Lee announces in the middle of the ring that he will be signing with World Wrestling Entertainment, and they vacated the tag titles. And of course, on WWE's website, I had this pulled up and I got rid of it, but I'm going to read it again. Dragon Lee is headed to WWE after a surprise announcement at tonight's Lucha Libre AAA event. After an emotional victory with his brother, Dragon Lee relinquished the title and made his reveal. The second-generation superstar Lee has won championships worldwide with his supreme skills as both a singles competitor and a tag team aficionado. The high-flying and uber-athletic Dragon Lee has earned industry-wide respect with his seamless blend of acrobatics with mat technician skills. The Mexican-born superstar has ruled every ring he has graced with his unique and jaw-dropping offense and is now officially taking his talent to NXT. What, if anything, it does Dragon Lee's signing with, as my microphone just decides to do its own thing?
It happens.
What does Dragon Lee heading to NXT and WWE mean for the landscape of wrestling, especially WWE right now?
I'm going to be very honest. NXT or WWE in general, I think, has a pretty subpar track record with like a masked wrestler, with especially that luchador style of mask. I've made a list, and I think on Tuesday we can go a little bit longer format on this if you want.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's do it.
We'll go through some of the masked superstars that the WWE has seen come through their doors. I I think it's the right choice for Dragon Lee. I think it's a logical next step to be on board with one of the two big ones, AEW or WWE, with the Lucha Brothers and Penta and Ray Phoenix. I think he gets lost in AEW. Man, Roosh is there. There's so many. I think he gets lost in AEW, so he can try to carve out his own spot in the WWE roster that's I think hugely outside of Rey Mysterio. I can't think of another really successful wrestler that's worn a mask and done lucha style wrestling in the WWE.
Well, Kane wore a mask, but he didn't do lucha style. That'd be
No, I
something
mean that's
if
the
he
thing.
did.
Well, I mean that's that he's on my list for Tuesday to talk about. The big
But
guys
not-
that wear masks are typically okay, but a lucha style, it's missing.
Look at Sin Cara. They kind of dropped the ball on him.
Kalisto,
Kalisto.
the lucha house part. I mean, WWE has a track record, guys. You can't deny it.
Yeah, I mean, with the exception of Rey Mysterio, it's really all him. Like, there's two Sin Caras. You're not counting, because there was the original Sin Cara, which was Mystico, and then when Mystico was a failed experiment, they
Then they
took
put the gimmick on
Unico, who was Sin Cara Negro or Sin Cara Azul. I think there was a double Sin Cara gimmick, and then eventually the fake Sin Cara became the real Sin Cara when the real Sin Cara left. I know. I thought Sin Cara was okay. You also had Kalisto. Kalisto was solid. Injury bug got in the way, and then of course that really great good lucha promo that he had kind of stifled him a bit. You had the Lucha House Party with Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado, but I don't know. WWE's always clamoring for that next like Mexican star. It's feel like they at least want to have one giant star from their major representatives. And they've got it in most places. Like they've got Sheamus, they've got Drew McIntyre, they've got Gunther, they've got Shinsuke Nakamura,
the ghost of Bret Hart for Canada.
But even then with Canada, they have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so they've got and then Australia, I mean, most of their like young major stars right now are all Australian, with Rhea, with now Bronson Reed being back.
Yeah, Indy Hartwell, Emma.
Well, Dakota Kai's New Zealand, but it's all the same.
It's all the same.
Yeah,
right. They all got kangaroos.
Very close.
Tasmanian Devils.
You got Becky Lynch too.
Wombats.
So
Gunther.
Dingoes. But just WWE's gonna be looking for that next star for Latin America, especially as like Rey Mysterio is. Eventually, Rey Mysterio is gonna hang it up, right? Like it,
and Dom's in jail.
Oh no, he got out.
Oh, did he get out?
He did get out.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Did you see the shirt WWE put out?
No, I didn't. I totally missed it.
WWE put out a "I'm not gonna make it in jail" shirt with a picture of Dom getting handcuffed and put in the squad car.
If I don't get a video of a countdown at New Year's of Dom breaking in the door at like 1 and Dom swings the door open, and that's how the Mysterios start their new year, I'm going to be real upset.
How do you feel about that? Not to derail the conversation about Dragon Lee, but what do you guys think about the Dom stuff with the Judgment Day and running in on Ray and his family?
I love it. It's the only time I've been interested in Dominic Mysterio.
Yep.
I never in a million years thought I would be this interested in anything Dominic was going to do.
Yep. Same. I couldn't stand him.
I mean, there's a bit of it where he's kind of under Rhea's spell, if you will. It plays into the name Dom a little bit, honestly. Yeah, it's so good. It is really good.
It is. Those two
calling her
together,
mommy. Oh, it's good.
man. Those two together are just. I'd like Rhea, but I didn't care for Dom. But now, I do. I like him. I hate to admit it. Didn't think it was possible.
But you have to let your feelings out, Mark. This is the last show of the year.
I have to let him out. I like Dominic Mysterio. What he's doing right now with Rhea Ripples.
Guys, in the comments, real quick, thumbs up, thumbs down for Dom Mysterio. Let's hear it. Not you, Mark, but thank you for doing it.
Here's the shirt. Bail me out, mommy. I won't make it in jail. Actual shirt.
That's solid. I don't know who would buy that for $30
Well, you'll see it
to boot.
Next Christmas.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, for sure. But that's an excellent shirt, I think. It kind of reminds me of like what they've done with like. Remember when Cesaro busted his face on the post? They did with Cyborg.
Didn't Vince get a shirt like that?
Vince got a mugshot shirt.
Mugshot shirt.
It's like every Becky Lynch got a mugshot shirt.
It's just the ones that actually get arrested that don't get those shirts.
I know. We're waiting on the Jimmy Uso mugshot shirt.
I didn't say that.
The Jeff Hardy mugshot shirt.
Why you got to go so hard in the paint?
They both would have several shirts.
Not to get us back on track on purpose. Devin giving us a thumbs up. Luna Kitty thumbs up on the
All right.
on the stuff.
They're liking them.
They are liking it. What do you think though the Dragon Lee signing means for WWE? Not just like in the spot of like the luchadors, but we talked about it before with the influx of all the re-signings that have taken place within WWE. And now with Dragon Lee being signed, and also I think I saw a report where Triple H had said that in 2023, WWE is going to be looking at acquiring more talent. I'm trying to find the exact quote.
I like this Triple H.
What do we?
I like what he's doing.
What do we think about like what the state of WWE could be like? Like, obviously, he's going to be in NXT, but to make room in NXT, you got to bring people up, and then
I think if it makes sense, then let it make sense, and it's a smart business move. I think there's going to. Everybody was kind of talking about these NXT or these AEW contracts when they're coming up, when they're yada yada yada. I think we're going to see a few of them start falling in 2023, and then obviously the most talked about one is the MJF in 2024, the bidding war, if you will. But if it makes sense, I mean, if he's 2024, there's got to be some in 2023. I think we're going to see. Some re-signings. If it makes sense, let's do it, man. Business is business. Same for AEW. If it's smart business, make smart business decisions. Let's have good programming. Let's enjoy pro wrestling, and let's make it the best it can be.
For sure. Go ahead, Mark.
I was going to say the one thing the WWE signing some of the AEW guys could be Cody Rhodes could be the difference maker, because Cody had some influence on getting those guys signed in AEW. Now he's in WWE. I wouldn't be surprised to see some of those guys jumping.
Possibly. Like, I think that was one of the cool things that made WWE and WCW kind of cool, which was the mix of knowing who was going to jump where. But per WrestleVotes on Twitter, they were told that WWE was hopeful of signing Dragon Lee, and just the start of signing standout talent. Triple H and crew have high expectations to land other high quality names early in 2023. We got on AEW's case for having an overbloated roster and not being able to use everyone. I'm very curious how we're going to react when WWE is going to have a seemingly bloated roster as well. and not know what. Well, the jury will still be out as to whether or not they know what to do with them, but I'm curious to see if all of these standout talent signings mean releases of some guys who aren't utilized.
It's tough to make the comparison. I don't think it's necessarily a fair comparison to compare AEW and WWE. Even at this stage right now, we were talking two main brands of WWE, Raw and SmackDown, plus Dragon Lee's going to NXT, so let's count them in as well. SmackDown's 2 hours, NXT's 2 hours, Raw is 3, so we're looking at 7 hours of programming,
right,
compared to AEW's broadcast of 3 hours, Rampage 1 and Dynamite being 2 hours. So
for sure.
There's obviously more time to fill, which means more superstars you're going to need on a roster. And there's always going to be, the ebbs and the flows of how the roster is going to work, and injuries and this and that. And, people can look at somebody like Miro and be like, see, the AEW is no better than the WWE. But I don't think that's a great comparison either. Like, guy gets cold, they don't have a story for him. Why put him out there in meaningless matches? I'd rather see Miro win something that means. Mark, what the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing?
It's like you're rearranging a goddamn shelf.
I had there was a bag of hardware sitting there. I don't know where it came from.
What the fuck would you have a bag of hardware? You know what? Never mind. A bag of hardware.
All right, never mind. I don't know where it came from.
You're unbelievable. I lost my train of thought now.
I don't know, but his microphone is like super sensitive. Like I could, if I were blind, I could imagine exactly what he was touching with just the sounds. It
was a brown paper bag, wasn't it?
I think it was a plastic bag.
Plastic bag?
Yeah, it was a plastic bag. I'll be darned. I was
jingle jangles.
Yes. The entire listening audience is now darned with you.
I know.
I'm sorry. Great audio.
It's an ASMR podcast.
Oh God!
Now you're just doing it. You're irking us all, Mark.
I will be irked by this end of the show.
Any final thoughts on Dragon Lee? Of course, as we mentioned, we'll talk more about the state of lucha wrestling and luchadors on our Tuesday show. Be sure to check that out wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Google, Spotify, and more.
I think it's cool. I think it's a good signing. He'll be with his cousin Wesley in NXT. That's really cool. So
maybe they'll form a tag team.
They could form a
Wesley
tag team.
And Dragon Lee. I think it's going to be great. He's going to be a future. Let's predict it now. Future NXT champion.
Probably.
I can see it taking that belt off of Braun Breaker. Maybe Braun will keep it until then.
I don't know if the Breaker band's the one. Do you think it goes the route of North American, or just straight to the big boy?
Well,
the big iridescent.
I think that if they're going to try to make him Rey Mysterio, he's got to get in there with guys bigger than him and pick guys off. I don't think he dethrones Braun. I think that goes to somebody else, and then maybe Dragon Lee can take it off of whoever beats Braun. Thoughts on the name? Because I don't think he's going to be able to keep Dragon Lee. What do we think his NXT name is going to be?
That's a great question.
Man,
it is.
Maybe they'll spell it differently. Maybe it'll be Dragon Ly, Dragon Lee. Like to breathe fire. That's something Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee. If you're breathing fire, that's a Dragon Lee thing to do.
That's not awful, Mark. I hate that.
It's not happen.
Awful.
Paul E. Dragon Lee.
Paul E. Dragon Lee. I think they rebrand him as the rebirth of Avatar.
Okay.
That could happen too.
I don't know. This is going to be a big question mark. Former friend of the show, Al Snow? Question mark.
You can just put up a big giant question mark, and that's a recent gimmick, I guess.
Yeah,
He passed away, didn't he? I think
Question mark?
the guy that portrayed him
Stone.
in
Yes.
NWA recently. I forget what was his name. Yeah, I ain't looking it up. If it's not in the comments, ain't no one helping.
Exactly, but it's all good. As we
cousin
close
Brian,
up,
that he would know.
as we close up the live show and the last live show of 2022, I feel like it's a good time to reflect on some of our favorite things that happened, that took place during the year that was 2022.
What a year it was.
We've still got John Cena and Kevin Owens teaming up tomorrow on SmackDown, but we've got like 362 other days of the year that we could easily pick out as like some of your favorite things. It could be something that's a big overarching thing. It could be something that's super specific on a particular time and place. But Mark, Ryan, what are some of your favorite things in the world of wrestling that took place in the year of our Lord 2022?
Before you said wrestling, I was getting ready to say raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens.
And bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens. It's right.
Oh my God, I love warm woolen mittens.
I know.
I love brown paper packages tied up with strings.
You know, those are a few of your favorite things.
Just a few of them. You know, sometimes when the dog bites and the bee stings, and when I'm feeling sad, you know what I do, Smokey? I simply remember my favorite things. And then I don't
it doesn't
feel
work.
so
I count
bad.
to 10 and he's still doing it.
Yep.
It was my coping mechanism, and he just does it right through it.
I'm sorry you're upset.
Emails.
So in 2000, let's talk about wrestling in 2022. I think when we look back at this a few years from now, 2022 will be one of the biggest years in professional wrestling. The biggest.
That's fair.
Look at all the stories. I mean, Vince McMahon stepping down alone. That's story of the last few decades. Huge.
That's
Huge.
probably one of my favorite things too.
Look
I
how
think that's going to end up being a really good thing.
I think so too. So far, the Stone Cold coming back after 20 years.
That was a great moment. It was a fun WrestleMania moment
big.
for sure. I think my favorite moment and one of my favorite things to come out of 2022 is the Iron Survivor the Iron Survivor Challenge match. A match I really dogged on because I don't like new things. I don't like to try new things. New things scare me. But God darn, that was a fun match.
New things scare you.
New things scare me, Mark.
I'm sorry.
New things are scary. It's okay. New things are scary.
It can be scary.
You've been to the diner with me. You know that.
Yeah, new things scare you. When are we going back to the diner?
When Judy's back.
Can somebody put an APB out on BBJ?
Oh, man.
Please.
Can we get an all points bulletin on Judy?
I'm also really thankful that we retired the 24/7 championship. I think that's one of my favorite things to come out of this year. It started with the dud. It kind of picked up. I was like, oh, this is kind of neat. Oh, look. One of the Briscoes is, oh, look, Kelly's a champion. This is fun. Oh, that was just for about an episode. And I was like, well, I'm over it. It gave R-Truth something to do, which I'm thankful for. But with his injury, it makes sense to just finally put this guy to bed.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Put him to bed. Good night.
One of my favorite things from the year was the great series of matches with FTR and the Briscoes. That's a tall task to get through, but from Super Card of Honor, Death Before Dishonor, and then Final Battle this year, FTR and them boys really turned it up and did a great deal on everything in tag team wrestling.
That's real fair.
Maybe underappreciated because it all happened on Ring of Honor, but either way, I think it's definitely worth mentioning. In our comment section, Devin brings up the White Rabbit mystery and then the reveal of who the White Rabbit was and being awesome to see live. I think he makes a valid point. I think the White Rabbit stuff really did kind of grab us. And it was one of those things where it's like, it's obviously this one guy. It's obviously Bray Wyatt. But we found a way to talk ourselves out of Bray Wyatt and then back into Bray Wyatt and then out and then in. And then eventually we get the reveal at, was that Extreme Rules in Philly?
Yeah.
I believe it was.
Extreme Rules. And man,
From a song being played at house shows
viral.
to man, so good. Great
Yes,
job, WWE.
We never once on a televised program got the red light treatment. We never got the song. It was all just like random happenings, like during the commercial breaks at Raw.
I was tuning into SmackDown for QR codes in 2022. Great job.
They did a thing, and way to go for the internet wrestling community. Kind of sleuth out what all the QR codes meant. Getting ahead of the curve with some of them. Luna Kitty on the YouTube makes a very valid point too. Cody Rhodes' return at WrestleMania, a big moment for 2022.
He's home.
And much like the Bray Wyatt thing, it was, we all knew, or like all signs pointed to as soon as they said Cody or Seth Rollins has a mystery opponent at WrestleMania. And we're looking through the WrestleMania card and we're like, well, he's wrestling this guy and they're wrestling these guys and this guy's doing this. It's got to be Cody, right? Especially like at the same time, the AEW stuff's, he's leaving AEW. He's walking away. And then just like with Bray Wyatt, we talk ourselves out of it being Cody. And then we talk ourselves back in and we talk ourselves out. And then eventually Cody shows up in full American Nightmare regalia. And like that is a moment to behold. It's a favorite thing for sure, at least for me. It reignited my love of Cody. I didn't show you guys for Christmas, but I ended up getting
that's a beaut.
The AEW
Real
Cody
nice.
Stream exclusive from Walmart. There's another version of this, but I only need one. I think I'm gonna actually open this bad boy up.
Ooh.
I know.
Letting them breathe.
I let some of them breathe. I let some of them breathe. I got my Roman Reigns. He's out and loose.
He's out the box.
I've got a Big E that's out.
Big E's out the box.
Nice Big E from his championship, his WWE title win.
There he is.
Man,
Mr. Langston.
Kids really are fortunate nowadays to have like really solid looking action figures. Because boy, we had action figures that doubled as vibrators.
We did with the big red button on the side.
Like, what am I going to do with the Giant doing a double bicep pose and this red button on his side that's going to make him jiggle?
That were just the hardest plastic I've ever felt.
Oh my God.
That's terrible.
They
They scuffed the moment you looked at them.
Just
what about the sweating wrestlers from WWF? Remember them?
Oh yes.
No.
Oh yeah.
Put
They were
water
like,
in them. And they
what
would
were they
sweat.
called? Like Max Moisture or some shit? No.
I don't remember, but they absolutely they sweat. It was gross.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh shit, what were they called?
Oh my gosh. Maximum Sweat.
Maximum Sweat. Okay.
Maximum
Max
Sweat.
Moisture.
Stone Cold Steve Austin had them. Triple H had one. The Big Boss Man had one. Ken Shamrock.
Shamrock was always sweating.
These are the worst. Draws had one.
No draws.
Andre the Giant should have had one.
Oh my God! This
Horror.
has to be the worst toy line in the history of toys.
Horror.
Oh, why, Mark? Did you even remember this?
I have a set of them.
Really?
Yep. I have at least an entire set, if not a few extras.
Man, is that a KB toy?
Yep. I got them at KB Toys, baby.
Problems.
That checks out.
They
But
had
you can go back to like the Hasbros, like nostalgically, we love them. But they weren't great figures either. They were yay big. They're really tiny. They're not big at all. And like Jake Roberts just did the punch. He just like that's all he got.
And Rick Rude was like this.
Right. Warrior, I think,
He was like Bowser
one
from Shaun on Off.
Yep.
Right. Warrior, you could just kind of push him down and he would do this.
Warrior,
no, his arms would go forward and back.
There was 2 Warriors.
Oh, I know. There was one that had the hands up like this.
One was like with his legs together, I thought.
Yeah, you could push down his back and he bounced.
Yeah, that's what I meant. He bounced.
I remember the Rockers were like that.
Yeah, the Rockers were like that.
Yeah.
I think Kamala was like that.
Devin, to piggyback off Luna Kitty, the injury match in the Hell in a Cell.
Oh,
that's a pretty sweet moment and a favorite thing for 2022 as well.
Definitely a moment to remember.
Cody was.
Do you remember?
Gutsy guy there.
One of my favorite things personally is getting back at the commentary table with the guys and calling a night to remember at the Zembo Shrine. It was great to see wrestling back in Harrisburg. Great to be back at the Zembo.
Oh, that was great.
And calling the show with my boys, and looking forward to what that's going to do in 2023. And we got a lot of cool stuff lined up at the beginning of the year. So that's definitely one of my favorite moments personally is to get calling shows again. That felt really good.
I definitely miss calling stuff.
Yeah, that was a lot.
I need to get back into the swing of things, and who knows? Maybe if the door opens up for 3CT to do some more in the future, I'd love to swing in and call a grap or two. You know?
Absolutely. We got some things lined up already, so that's exciting. And
surprisingly,
our messages are open. Let's do some business in 2023, right?
Let's talk. Exactly. Let's talk, pal.
Slide in the DM.
I've done commentary with Mark, and I've done commentary with Matt. I think you, me, and Big Jim on commentary.
I think we'd be a hell of a team.
That'd be nutsy. That'd be real nutty.
That'd be wild.
That'd be fun.
If only there was a place that was gutsy enough to.
If only. If only.
Anything else in your favorite things for 2022?
Yeah, there was one, but I forget what it was now. I thought about it maybe 5 minutes ago, and I was like, "Oh, I ought to write this down." And then I lost it. And then I thought the night to remember, so I wrote night to remember down so I wouldn't forget it. And I've been trying to think ever since what that damn other thing was, and it gone.
What about little Liv becoming women's champion? That was exciting.
That was a moment for a lot of people.
That's a moment for sure.
In. Little Liv.
A lot of people interested in that. You know, especially those who were diehard Liv Morgan fans. Really,
I was interested. I think, unfortunately, the rain wasn't great.
Right.
And I think you look back on it, you're like, it wasn't that good. But the moment was big.
The moment was a big
moment.
It was a big moment. They're calling for showers this weekend too, Smokey. So there'll be more rain.
God, I hate you.
You know what? Don't rain on this parade
so much. I don't want to end the year being upset with you, Mark.
I didn't mean to dampen your spirits.
God, why do you do what you do?
I'm sorry, Smokey. I took the wind out of your sails. He's upset.
I think that's enough. I've had enough.
That's enough.
That's enough.
I miss Big Jim and Matt. Are they okay?
I think they're great.
Neither of them are at.
Do you think they're going to stop at the Red Robin on the way home after the wrestling tonight?
They might.
I don't think so.
They're open.
Yum.
They got a burger there, and it comes with like a big thing of cheese fondue that you dip your burger in cheese and you eat it.
Ooh.
Oh, that's good.
That is good.
That's
But you know what
good.
else has been good? Us being able to share Thursday nights with you guys here on 3CT Live. Mark, do you have anything to leave us with for your last words on the podcast for 2022?
Actually, I have a dilemma, and maybe the good listeners can help. Do I want to see a giant Hershey Kiss being raised again this year? Do I want to see Abe Lincoln's hat being raised? So I have to decide, am I going to Hershey or am I going to Gettysburg? What's the boy to do?
I think you go to Gettysburg because you've probably gone to Hershey more times than you can count. Gettysburg would be an experience.
You know what? I got to see what band they have playing, because the band playing in Hershey, the opening band should be the one headlining, and it's very disappointing.
Who are the bands? Put them on blast, Mark.
Well, the band that's going to be opening is Fully Stocked. They're really good. They were up there last year. They're really good. In my opinion, they should headline. The headliners, I don't know much about them, but they're kind of like a jazz band. And a few years ago, they had a jazz band up there, and I like all kinds of music. I'm not a huge jazz person, but they had a jazz band. It was not. Yeah, it wasn't for me. I was disappointed. I don't know the majority of the crowd really cared about it, but
Here's what I want you to do, Mark. I want you to Google search where the Jess Zimmerman band's going to be, and I want you to go there.
they might be in Tennessee, the Volunteer State.
There's a very
Let's
strong
find out.
possibility of that.
I don't think we've ever played the whole song out before.
Well, usually Big Jim, as soon as the music starts hitting, he runs a tight ship, and we're
Gets
it's
out.
chaos
We're
here.
out.
Let it go.
You're playing
Right.
music.
We are playing music. I'm very sad.
I can't hear any of it.
Ryan, 2022 closing thoughts.
Been a cool year. Embrace change. Change is going to be good. Trust me. Trust me. Have a great year. Let's be better to each other next year. I love you all.
But well said. Well said. I can't disagree with anything you've said. I know Big Jim would say it. I know Matt would also second it. We appreciate you guys. Without you, there's no us. It's just us. It would be, if without you guys, it'd just be us five guys getting on in a StreamYard session, just talking the talk. Be sure to follow us on all social media at 3 Count Thursday, wherever you get it. It is always the number and never the word. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/3 Count Thursday. Content starts just $2 a month. Check out our TeePublic store. Shirts inspired by the stupid things we say here on the podcast every week. Collar and elbow brand, use 3 Count for 10% off every order. And of course, Anchor, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, all your podcatchers for this and our Tuesday show. Next Thursday, I believe we're doing our match of the year talks, where we bring our list to the table and talk about what we thought was most match worthy. But guys, until next time, we'll see you back here then. But as a very, very big man would say, stay safe, stay smart, and go for the pin.